Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and today we're talking D23. I love talking about upcoming movie news, especially animation and Disney stuff, but it's a lot of work, so I haven't really done it much. In fact, the last time I did it was just once in all of my podcasting, one time back in 2019. Katie Fabrick and I talked about all the announcements coming out of D23 back in 2019, which was interesting because that was the time they were launching Disney Plus. There was a ton of stuff to talk about. It was also interesting going back to listen to that podcast the other day and listening to us talk about some things that never came out and some things that at the time I thought I was excited for, but I still haven't watched. Anyway, that was the first year that I've been podcasting, and it was my intention to do that kind of thing more regularly, but it's now 5 years later, and this is only the second time I'm doing it, at least for my own podcast. I used to do an animation news podcast semi-regularly with Rachel Wagner for her show, but that was long before I started my own podcast, and she hasn't kept up with it either. It really is a lot of work to stay on top of all the news as it comes out and compile it for a podcast. But D23 is a bit different. Instead of having to comb through all the blogs and animation news sites all the time, trying to come up with enough material to fill an episode, D23 comes along and just drops it all at once. And when the sheer volume of stuff that was coming out was so great that it was filling my YouTube feed the night this was announced, I just had to talk about it with someone, so Katie came back and we're talking all about the 2024 D23 Expo. The good, the bad, and the annoying. Because, spoiler alert, neither of us are really hyped for a pile of sequels and live-action remakes. However, there is some really exciting original stuff coming, and we are both really excited to talk about it all. I feel like this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, like talk about news, but I never feel like there's a ton to talk about all at once. But then when I saw that D23 happened and so much other stuff dropped, I was like, we should do this again.
Yeah.
I think the last time we did this was like 5 years ago.
Oh gosh.
Because I think it was at the beginning of Disney Plus, because we were talking about Disney Plus announcements.
Right. Jeez. Like you mentioned that we had done this before, and I'm like, I'm gonna take his word for it, but I don't remember really.
It's been a while. It's something that I've always wanted to come back to, but like I said, there's never a ton all at once, and it's a lot of work to compile, like keep a list of everything that gets announced. And so
Yeah.
when all of this came out at once, I was like, perfect. We can do another one.
Yeah.
Someday when I have more time, I might start keeping a tally of like animation news and try and do an animation news episode, but I'm too busy right now.
Yeah. I understand.
Well, let's start talking about the big announcements for like the far off future, stuff that there's no trailers for, stuff that we basically only have a name and a piece of concept art.
Yeah.
We'll start with the ones that everybody knew were inevitable. Toy Story 5, Frozen 3, and Incredibles 3.
Deep sigh.
I guess we could throw Zootopia 2 in there as well, even though that's next year, so it's coming soon. There was a trailer for that one, but we don't have a trailer because it was exclusive to D23. So we can't really talk about the trailer. We weren't there.
Yeah.
Are you excited for any of these?
Oh boy, howdy. No.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm about the same. Maybe it'll be different if I see a trailer, but like just announcing the name alone, it's like, eh.
Yeah. Can you imagine like if a complete unknown film made by a complete unknown person did the same thing Disney does? Like no one would care. Like they would be like announcing like laundry hamper and you're like what? And they're just like it's got John Cena and Johnny Depp and you're like but why do I care?
I mean,
Like
I would probably watch a movie about John Cena as a laundry hamper. Maybe not in theaters, but I'd certainly look for it on streaming.
yeah, that is true. I've created too cool of an idea for my point.
feel like the most notable thing of all of these announcements was the concept art that they showed for Frozen 3. It looks so good, but you know the movie's not going to look like that.
Yeah, that's always Frozen though. The concept art is so good, and then they just kind of run it through the Disney mill, and it comes out looking pretty basic.
Yeah. I mean, for what they do, they look good, but like the concept art, I just want something that looks like the concept art.
Yeah,
Because it looked like a throwback to like the old, like Mary Blair, and somebody else said Ivan Earl.
yeah,
Mary Blair was my first thought, but I think it looked maybe like a mixture of the two.
yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't like super thrilled about any of those. Like I'll see them, of course, because Pixar and Disney, but it's not like I'm going to be there on the first day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There was another random announcement that wasn't given a release date that I figured we should just talk about called Monster Jam,
Yeah.
starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Apparently, it's about living monster trucks. I, I think it's a live action movie, so this isn't like something in the Cars universe, but that was like the most random announcement that I saw from D23. It's like, what on earth? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of little kids who love monster trucks that are going to love that. But I was just like, that is bizarre.
Yeah, it's really strange. I think I heard them say that like he's funding it, so I think just like Disney's producing it,
Okay.
like his film studio. I don't have evidence for this. I couldn't find anything, but I thought I heard that this was like his thing and Disney's just basically producing it. I feel like it's going to be one of those films where they're like, we're going to put it in theaters. And then, like, either it's in the contract that it goes in theaters, so it will go into theaters, or it'll just move on to Disney Plus.
I have a feeling there will be at least a small audience for this. My nephews are probably going to want to see this because they love cars and monster trucks, and
Yeah.
that audience will probably go. I don't know if it'll be like a day one audience, but I'm sure it will have an audience. Whether or not the audience goes to the theater for it or waits till streaming is yet to be seen. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably watch it out of curiosity more than anything, but I'm not gonna make a point to get to the theater unless the trailer somehow blows me away, looking way better than I'm expecting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it sounds like Disney Channel movie energy to me. Not to tear down Disney Channel original movies. I love those, but just one of those things that Disney just makes to make it.
Kinda, yeah.
But it's got that, oh, but it's Dwayne Johnson, so that must mean it's huge. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You could probably name more bad Dwayne Johnson movies than good Dwayne Johnson movies because he's in so many. So, like, no offense, but he's not exactly a seal of quality stamp, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, this is all based off of just a concept that someone threw at me, a very basic concept of just apparently living live action monster trucks, which is confusing because it looks like Dwayne Johnson's going to be one of the racers. I don't know. So it's confusing and I just don't care.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, it doesn't make me mad like some of the other announcements, but
It does make you scratch your head a bit.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about the one that I'm most excited for of the ones that are far in the future. Something called Hoppers, which is a brand new announcement from Pixar. I'm so glad to see they're announcing a new not sequel, a non-franchise film. I know they've got at least one other one in the works coming sooner than this, but with the announcements of all of the Toy Story 5,
Ugh.
etc., I, it's nice to see that they haven't given up on the originals.
When Buzz Lightyear said to infinity and beyond, I don't think he meant movies. Sorry. Continue.
So Hoppers is apparently about a girl who I think it's like sci-fi type situation. She can put her brain into a robot beaver and she wants to infiltrate the animal kingdom. Like that's like all that they really said about it. And then they had some concept art of a beaver laughing and running away from a girl who was wearing a thing on her head and an old lady. But just the art and that description makes me really want to see this. This sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. Again, there's not a lot to go off of, so I'm unsure. So it could be interesting, it could be not. I'm curious to see what goes on with it, but I'm not like giddy with excitement. Like, ooh.
Well, moving a little closer, we can talk about some things coming next year. These are ones we don't have trailers for. They're just announced with some concept art or some even just a logo. The biggest one, maybe, is Dream Productions, which is a in-between quel, I heard it described. It's from Inside Out, in between Inside Out 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And it takes place in the Dream Productions offices where they create the dreams that they send to Riley in the night, I guess. There's not a whole lot of info, but I think that's the basic premise.
Yeah. I feel like the only reason why it's like going to be set in between is because they're just like, well, we made Riley like not as old. I don't think there's going to be a lot of like plot development stuff. I mean, there could be.
Yeah, well, I think it's to me, the description makes it sound like it's just going to be maybe just random cartoons.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I just kind of assume that it's just going to be something random that really has no bearing on the overall Inside Out story,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like,
Yeah.
if they just want to do something ridiculous, I'm all for ridiculousness.
Yeah. No, that sounds fun. Again, I feel like I don't have a lot that I'm jumping up and down to say. It's like, yeah, okay, that's a thing. I don't have much to go off of. So, but yeah, that one interests me more than the other stuff did.
Yeah, me too. Then they also announced a sequel to the Lindsay Lohan Freaky Friday called Freakier Friday. And I don't really know what to think of that because I technically haven't even seen the full Freaky Friday. Like, I've seen the original. Like, I saw that one a ton growing up, and even recently I've watched it a couple times. But
Mhm.
I just have never really gotten around to sitting down. I think I bought the Lindsay Lohan one because I wanted to do it for the podcast, but I still haven't done it.
Yeah,
I will one of these days, but like I think there's like four versions of Freaky Friday, and I need to track
probably.
down the one from the 90s, and then I want to do like a series on all the versions of Freaky Friday. But now I guess I should wait until they make the sequel and then do all five movies. But yeah, I'm like the main thing that interests me is that it said Manny Jacinto is playing her husband now. So
Okay.
I like him. So that's kind of interesting. But because I haven't seen the original, it's not one that I'm like super pumped for.
Yeah. See, this was one of my favorite movies growing up, like the original of this Freaky Friday. And I have not visited it in a very long time because I'm almost scared that it will not hold up. And I'm like, kind of been like, oh, I'll revisit it sometime. And now this movie, I guess, is going to force me to revisit it. I don't think I'm going to see it in theaters, which apparently this is coming to, which is kind of bizarre.
It feels like it would be a Disney Channel movie.
Well, that's what the original one was. And then
Oh, was it?
this
I thought
was,
it was theatrical.
I'm pretty sure it was, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was a Disney Channel movie. Maybe it
I
was.
don't actually know. I just assumed it was theatrical because the original was.
I'm gonna look it up.
I know the one in the 90s was a Disney Channel movie, and the one from a few years ago was a Disney Channel movie. But I guess I don't know whether the Lindsay Lohan one was or not.
Oh, it was in theaters. Okay.
Okay.
You'll have to forgive me. I was like 6 at the time.
So they're going back and forth. The original was in theaters, then the 90s one was Disney Channel, then they went to theaters, then they went to Disney Channel. Now they're
Yeah,
back in theaters.
that's kind of funny. Yeah.
When they make Freakiest Friday, then they'll have to do it on Disney
Oh
Channel.
no. But yeah, again, I don't know, like it's a sequel. I don't really know if we need it. I don't know if I ever like now I have to confront the original. I don't know. I just feel like probably it's one of those movies you grow up as a kid, but then you go back and you're like, I mean, it's I don't know.
It could be 50-50. There
Yeah,
there
exactly.
there there are old movies that I grew up with that I absolutely loved that I've gone back and discovered they are not good. And there are some that I've gone back to and I'm like, yeah, this is just as good as I remember.
Yeah. I think I would be more excited if they just announced another like new movie with the same cast, but that had a I don't want to say had a more interesting premise. But like are they gonna like I don't quite
I don't know
it
who's
feels
doing the
like
body swapping. I assumed it's the mom and the
yeah.
daughter again, but like, I don't know. The fact that they got a big star to play her husband makes me think that maybe they'll do a husband and wife swap. I don't know.
Yeah, so like because of the premise of the original movie and it being a sequel, it only can go so many different ways, and I haven't figured out a way that I'm like, that actually sounds interesting instead of just, oh, we're doing it again, but a bit different this time.
It's interesting that with all of the remakes and now sequels that they've done, they're not making a sequel off of the book from the original author. Because the
Yeah,
original author wrote a sequel, but they've never adapted that.
that's weird.
In the sequel, it was her brother and father that swapped bodies.
Uh-huh. I don't know. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah. Well, moving on to the next one, the long-awaited Tron 3, now called Tron Ares. I'm excited because it's Tron, but I don't really have enough to go on. And it said that they were going to be going to the real world, which sounds not a great direction to take the franchise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I will see it, and I will see it in theaters because I like Tron more for the aesthetic and the music more than the story. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for the look of it and the sound of it. The story is probably inconsequential. I'll probably enjoy it. I don't know whether it will be a favorite or not.
Yeah. I feel like everything I hear about this movie makes me less and less interested.
I don't really know much. I saw the announcement thing and the logo, and it looked red instead of blue. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, and it said Nine Inch Nails was doing the music,
Yeah. I
which
mean, I don't care really about that. Like, okay.
because I think it's Trent Reznor, and I know he's done some other stuff. I think I probably have even talked about him on the podcast because he did the soundtrack for something. Now I need to look it up. So I know he can do good music.
Uh-huh.
Like the name Nine Inch Nails means almost nothing to me because I did not listen to Nine Inch Nails, and it sounds like
Yeah.
a band that would have been banned in our house.
I think the thing about this movie though that really just like made me lose all interest. Like, I agree, I really like the aesthetic of Tron. I haven't really liked the stories. Sorry, Tron fans. But the music from the original is really good. I really liked Daft Punk's
Yeah.
music for whatever movie, Uprising. I don't remember what it's called now. I don't think it's Uprising. Tron, whatever. Um, but I don't know. They lost me really quickly when they said Jared Leto is going to be the main character because I hate Jared Leto.
I don't think I've seen him in much. I know he's problematic in real life. And the only thing that I really know about him is and I don't remember the details, but he did gross stuff to people he worked with for the Suicide Squad movie
Yeah.
because he was Joker. Other than that, I don't really know much about him, and I probably don't want to know much about him.
Yeah, you don't want to know. I don't think he's a I've seen him in a little bit. I don't know. I just don't like him. And I don't want to watch him full movie without him. So if I find some reason to force myself to watch it, I probably will, but I probably won't watch it.
Well, I found maybe a tiny more bit more reason for you because I found out why I know the name Trent Reznor as a music artist.
Uh-huh.
He did the score for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Oh, okay.
That
So I'll listen to the soundtrack.
yeah, that's why I don't, maybe it wasn't that I was talking about him on the podcast. I think I was talking to Sarah when we watched the movie, we were
Okay.
trying to figure out who did the music. And that was who did the music. And I recognize the name, but I don't see anything else that he did. So I think it's just that I'm remembering.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'll listen to the soundtrack and I'll watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem again. This give no, I don't want to give like inherently I don't have a big issue with the movie, but it gets a thumbs down for me.
Well, the other big movie coming next year that I don't really care about. Avatar Fire and Ash. I still haven't seen the second Avatar, and the first one was so long ago that I don't remember it.
Yeah, I have not watched a single Avatar movie, and I haven't really found a reason to.
I remember the first one being okay, but nothing to that made me want to watch it again. So that's why I haven't made it a point to watch the second one. I probably will at some point because I do like sci-fi and it looks like it has a lot of cool creatures, which is one of the
Mm,
things I love most about sci-fi is cool creatures.
yeah,
But I guess I'm just not big enough into Avatar to be so excited that there's a new one coming next year.
yeah.
I feel like most of the stuff we're talking about is stuff that I'm not excited about, but there is stuff coming that I'm excited about. So
Yes, there are stuff I am also excited about. We're getting through that. You gotta go through a hard day's work before you get to go home and snuggle under a blanket with a cup of hot chocolate, okay?
well, let's move on to some Marvel and Star Wars. Most of these we don't
Yay.
have trailers for. Some of them have like a teaser trailer, and some have stuff that was shown at D23 that we can't watch. So we can only go off of what little we know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Fantastic Four First Steps first.
Okay.
Are you excited for this one?
See, I'm excited about it because Pedro Pascal, and I'm just like, yes, Pedro Pascal, more Pedro Pascal. And like, I grew up with the original Fantastic Four movies, and I know they're bad, but I love them in their own way. But I'm not a fan of the Fantastic Four characters, like outside of those movies a lot.
Hmm.
But like, I'm interested to see it. I think it's fun that it's taking like they picked a different time setting and all that. I am not excited for Doctor Doom, specifically the
Oh,
whole
that's
Robert
right.
Downey Jr. Doctor Doom thing.
Yeah, as soon as that was announced, I was like, what?
I have talked about it at length with other people. I will not get into all the little gritty details, and I understand that why there are some reasons why they're doing it, but I am not happy about it. I find it just kind of feeling like they're grasping at straws to get people excited again.
It does feel like that. It would be nice if there was some sort of narrative reason.
And I still like, yes, I've been explained multiple reasons why, but I don't care about those reasons why because it still doesn't quite make sense to me. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm looking forward to this one, but mostly only because, like, I wouldn't say I grew up with the others because they came out when I was a teenager, I think. I think
Yeah,
they were some of the first movies that I went to the theater for and some of the first DVDs that I ever bought. So I am a fan of those movies, even
yeah,
though I know they're not good. They're still entertaining.
yes, thank you.
I never saw I guess remake, whatever it was a few years ago, the reboot.
Not worth
I
it.
never
Not worth
saw
it.
it.
Not worth it.
As soon as the reviews started coming out, yeah, I was like, I don't need to make it a point to see this, and then I still haven't
No,
gotten to it.
yeah, not worth it. I've watched it twice. I watched it the first time it came around when it came out. It was bad, and then I watched it a couple years later, hoping that it would be something funny to riff, and it's not. It's boring.
Mm,
You can't even riff. It's not even like a. It's so bad you can make fun of
yeah,
it.
that's
It's
the
just
worst kind of
boring.
bad movie.
Yeah.
A movie that isn't really bad, it's just nothing.
Yep. That's what that movie is. But yeah, I'm excited. I just want to see more before I get too
Yeah.
excited for it.
I think they showed a teaser at D23, but again, nothing we can watch.
I think they showed us concept art or something. Like we've had concept art, like they had an artist draw the actors as the characters at one point.
Hmm.
And then I think they had like some, I don't know if it was a screenshot or concept art or something at D23, but I don't know. It's probably not accessible at this time.
Hmm. Well, the next one we have is Captain America Brave New World.
Woo! Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson.
I've never been a huge fan of the Captain America movies. I like them, but they're not my favorite Marvels.
Okay.
So I'm not like super excited for this. I do like Sam Wilson as the Falcon, so that'll be interesting. And it will be interesting to see Harrison Ford as a giant red monster. So I'm definitely looking forward to it in that respect. But like I always find the more, I shouldn't say realistic, but like the less sci-fi ones, which Captain America is generally the least sci-fi. There's no aliens, there's no magic. So that's why I'm like not hyped for it
Yeah.
like I am some other things. But I will see this one because I like him and I'm intrigued to see what they do with Harrison Ford.
Yeah. That's funny because I really, really love the first Captain America movie. It's one of my favorite movies. Then I really liked Winter Soldier. Civil War, I have a bit of an issue with because it's not really a Captain America movie. It's kind of just another Avengers movie.
That's probably why I'm my
Um,
favorite of the three.
but yeah, and I love Sam Wilson, and so I'm excited to see him as Captain America. I know that like you have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I haven't watched that yet. I've heard it's really good, so I want to watch that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Sam Wilson, Captain America in the comics, so it's gonna be fun.
I watched the Disney Plus show and it was good. It wasn't
Yeah.
good enough that I went back to rewatch it again because I don't have enough time to do a lot of rewatching things, but I enjoyed it on my one watch through, so I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I think I will too. I just haven't gotten to it.
I'm so far behind on all of the Disney Plus Marvel stuff.
Oh my gosh. I think the only Marvel so I watched Hawkeye because I had to watch Hawkeye. That was what I watched whilst it was coming out. Very good. Highly recommend.
I
And
caught
then
up
I
with that one. I
watched
didn't watch it when it was coming out, but like
yeah,
after it was all out, I watched it all.
yeah. That one's so good. I love it so much. Mainly because it's based off of it's well, based off of. It's heavily inspired by my favorite run of Hawkeye by Matt Fraction, and it's so good. And like they took a lot of like his personality and a lot of the villains and kind of plot points and stuff like that. Even like the credits, art style and stuff are very similar to the point that I argue that they should have gotten credit for that because of how heavily influenced it was by it, almost to the point of it couldn't technically be plagiarism because Marvel owns them both, but it was too close. But yeah, I watched that one and then I watched Moon Knight because I wanted to see Oscar Isaac.
I still need to catch up on Moon Knight.
I will say that I think I liked Hawkeye better, but I enjoyed Oscar Isaac a lot. But that's kind of a given because I just really like Oscar Isaac. So,
Yeah, it looked good. I just haven't made the time to watch it.
no, yeah, that's fair. Like, yeah, I'm so behind everything. So, I am not a person to judge anybody on any television show upkeep.
Technically, I'm behind on the movies too. Like at some point last year, or when did Quantumania come out? Was that last year? Because that's the last Marvel movie I saw.
I don't remember. I didn't watch it.
It was a letdown.
I did not need to watch another Ant-Man movie. I don't like any of the Ant-Man
Oh, I
movies.
love Ant-Man, but this did not feel
Uh,
like an Ant-Man movie. It felt like a bargain bin Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
oh no.
And I love Guardians of the
Oh,
Galaxy, but this just felt like a cheap knockoff.
did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yes, that was like
Okay, because,
my absolute favorite
yeah.
Marvel thing in a long time.
Yeah, that one came out after
Okay,
Quantumania,
that's the
I think.
last thing I've seen then.
Yeah. It's very good.
Well, speaking of Disney Plus, we can talk about the next couple of things.
Uh-huh.
Daredevil Born Again and Ironheart, both set to be series for Disney Plus. I'm more looking forward to Ironheart because I liked her in the last Wakanda movie.
Uh-huh.
But Daredevil, I never watched the original Netflix series, and it looks like it's not going to be my cup of tea. It looks like it's going to be dark and gritty, and I don't love dark and gritty.
Yeah.
And especially if I feel like I need to watch the other series to catch up.
Yeah, I'm hoping that you won't have to do that.
That'd be nice. But yeah, it's not going to be a high priority for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, I mean, I feel like it's gonna be dark and gritty because they're just gonna try to capture the views of the original one. But I'm still kind of hoping that it'll be a bit of a lighter take on Daredevil because I like the character Daredevil,
Hmm.
specifically in a specific comic book run that I read that I really enjoyed because it was a little bit lighter. I just think he's a bit more fun when he's kind of lighthearted and stuff like that. So I know he was in She-Hulk, which I did not watch yet.
That's the only thing I've seen him in. I did watch
Yeah,
She-Hulk, and I was one of the few people who liked She-Hulk, but I like ridiculous things, so
yeah,
I was fine with how ridiculous it was.
yeah,
But I know that people who saw She-Hulk and liked Daredevil hated Daredevil in She-Hulk. So I have a feeling that they have opposite tastes from me. So
yeah,
I don't know that I would like the original Daredevil series.
yeah. Like I'm hoping he'll be more like that Daredevil in She-Hulk because I heard that like he was a bit more lighthearted and everything.
Yeah.
And I like him better when he's like that. But we'll see. But I am excited for Ironheart, mainly because I just like that character, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with her.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing her again. I don't know much else about the show. I don't know if they've
No,
announced much cast beyond her.
she's in it. The director of the first Black Panthers directed it. Brian something.
Interesting. It says Cree Summer and Sacha Baron Cohen have been cast in undisclosed roles.
Cree Summer.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I am far more excited all of a sudden.
I wonder if she'll be doing a
What?
voice or if she'll be on screen because she doesn't do much on screen.
Oh my gosh. What? Cree Summer. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I am she's like one of my favorite actresses ever
Yeah, I mean,
for like
she's one
so
of the
long.
she's one of the voice actresses that I've known the name of since I was a kid because she
Yeah.
played Elmira in Tiny Toons and I loved Elmira.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's super cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I wonder what she'll be doing. That's interesting.
Yes. That's cool. Great, you Daredevil. You don't have Cree Summers. What do you have? Kingpin? Not as good.
I guess Anthony Ramos is also in it as somebody called the Hood, but I don't know who that is.
Oh, that name's familiar.
I know him from Anthony Ramos, not the Hood. I know Anthony Ramos from In the Heights.
Oh, okay.
He played the main character, Usnavi.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now that you, yeah, I know him. He was in Bad Guys as Mr. Piranha.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was also in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. He was the main human in that.
Okay, I never saw that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, let's move on to some Star Wars. Again, these were trailers shown only at D23. We don't have them to watch ourselves. There was Andor
Unfortunately.
preview. I know, I know. I saw some stills from Mandalorian and Grogu, and I want more. I am very much looking forward to both of these. I loved the first season of Andor. I don't know if you watched it yet or not.
I've watched a few of first episodes and I'm like, got busy. I really want to like watch it all. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow because I don't really have anything happening tomorrow.
It's one of those things like I'm trying to get my friend Sam to watch it because she said she watched the first two or three and got bored and never finished it.
Oh,
But it's one of those shows that is a very slow burn and it just keeps ramping up. And by the end of the season, it's just so good. Like
oh yeah, no.
some of the later episodes are some of the best Star Wars out there.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't get bored. Just to reiterate, it was so good. I wanted to watch it all at once.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, this will take over my life if I try to like every time I tried to watch it, it took over my life and I could not do anything else.
yeah.
So that is the only reason why I have not finished it. But maybe I will finish it.
Oh, you definitely should. It's so good.
Well, I'm going to finish it, but maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I think I've locked my plans in for tomorrow.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, because oh my gosh, number one, okay, besides it being like an amazing story and being Star Wars, which are already 2 points towards it. Diego Luna, I love Diego Luna.
Uh-huh.
So good. I love him as Andor or Cassian or whichever name you want to call him under. Also, Andy Serkis is in it, and you
Yeah.
have to watch Andy Serkis.
He's
And
one of
then
the best
also
characters.
yes, and then also season two, return of the greatest Star Wars character in the history of Star Wars. No arguments. K2SO. I
Yes.
freaking love K2SO so much, and I'm so excited. Like I kind of knew we all kind of knew he was going to be in it, but the fact that they actually announced it,
Yeah.
like, thank you. Finally, give me more of this sassy droid. I love him so much, and I'm
Yes.
so excited for more of him. I
Yeah.
hope he gets introduced early on so I can get the most K2SO that I can
Oh,
get.
yeah, yeah, me too. Hopefully,
Like
like
it would,
episode 1, and then he's in the whole season.
yeah, yes. I would just, I just love him so much.
It's supposed to be taking place over 4 years, so
Yeah,
they need to give them a long time to like become friends.
yeah.
So they need the whole
4 years
4 years.
sounds good. Episode one, K2SO's love journey with his best pal. That's what the episode's called.
That would be hilariously random if they just decided to call it that.
That was like I like started talking and I lost all sense of words, and so that's what came out. And you know what? I'm sticking with it. This is why I should get hired at Disney. But yeah, I think honestly, like, no offense to everything else, but I think this is like the thing I'm the most excited for.
Probably not the thing I'm most excited for, but it's very high on my list.
Yeah, I might have a few things tied. I
Yeah,
definitely have one other thing tied, and one thing like very close. But I'm so excited for more Andor.
yeah, me too. Well, what about the Mandalorian and Grogu?
See, I'm excited for that a lot. I have also not caught up all the way with Mandalorian,
Oh, okay.
but I'm just gonna say, could they not have thought of a less boring title?
I hope the title is a placeholder. I really don't like the title.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Well, I mean, they showed a logo, so I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be a placeholder. Like they had like the title, they showcased it. I've seen like
True, but there's another
post
show we'll be talking
pictures.
about coming up that had many logos that they made for it because they made a
Yeah,
bunch of fake titles. So, and I know
I
this is
guess
not the
so.
same
Yeah,
thing as a fake title, but I feel like I think that I'm hoping that they decided to call it that for now because they want to
yeah,
get people who love Baby Yoda on board. Because
yeah,
if they come up with a more Star Warsy sounding title, then they might not capture that audience, the casual fan who just really likes Baby Yoda. But if they know that there's a movie coming that has that in the title, they're like, "Oh, I gotta go to the theater, watch Baby Yoda."
yeah,
I think that's what they're going for, and I just really hope that at the last minute they give it a proper title.
yeah. No, it's. Come on, guys. You didn't think we didn't even. There was no thought process going on that time. But maybe all the creativity was going into the actual movie.
I hope so. Yeah, we don't know a ton, but I know that they've talked about part of it's going to take place on Hoth.
Oh, cool.
There's going to be Anzellans, which everybody loves Babu Frick. I don't know if Babu Frick himself is going to be in the show, but Anzellans anyway.
Yeah. And more Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
So, bonus.
And he's apparently actually going to be there, unlike season 3, where he only did the voice and was never on set, which was a bit disappointing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, let's move on to some stuff we actually have trailers for that we can actually talk about.
Yeah.
We'll start with the one that I think is coming the soonest, but I don't actually know. And it's not one that I'm like super excited for, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Wizards Beyond Waverly Place.
Uh-huh.
Is this a show that you grew up with?
I remember seeing a little bit. See, I watched Disney Channel original movies, but I didn't watch the show
Okay.
because my library had the movies and I would borrow them, but they did not have the shows. So I remember seeing a few episodes of this
That's right. You
when
said you
I
didn't
went
have
on,
TV. Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense.
So I went on vacation, I remember, to a water park and they had a TV at like this food court and I watched a few episodes there. So I've seen a little bit of it, enough to know the basic premise, but yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. I watched the trailer and I was a little confused because I didn't know that much about it, but I hope people who like it are excited.
It's not a show that I grew up with. Like, I didn't grow up with Disney Channel at all. This, I
Yeah.
think, came out probably after, when did it come out? It was probably when I was an adult already. Yeah, it first aired in 2007.
Hmm.
So I didn't watch it when it was airing. I probably watched it at some point after because for a while in the early 2010s, my cousin and I were just going through a Disney Channel phase where we were trying to catch up on everything we watched as kids and then find out what came next and watch a bunch of that as well.
Yeah.
So I have seen the whole Wizards of Waverly Place series, and I really liked it. I especially liked
Cool.
her weird best friend. Like the weird best friends. That's like my favorite thing in the Disney Channel shows. So Harper and Zeke were the two characters. They were my favorite characters. They are not in the show, the new show, as far as I can tell. As far as I know, they are not in the show. So, like, I liked the main characters too enough. So I'm looking forward to seeing them again. The only thing I'm worried, if you can even call it worried, I'm not that worried. It seems a lot like Raven's Home,
Uh-huh.
which I absolutely loved. That's So Raven. That one I did watch growing up because that one it like re-aired on ABC. So it aired on the Disney Channel, but also aired on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
So that one I watched as it came out back whenever it was that it was coming out. So I loved That So Raven, and I was really excited when they announced a sequel series, Raven's Home. And I watched a bunch of it, and I kind of got bored, and I've never gone back.
Yeah.
It's it's mostly about the kids, like her kids,
Yeah.
and that's not that exciting to me. Like I wanted more of like actually with Raven herself. And she is a big part of the show. So it's not like it's only about her kids, but it's just not enough about Raven. It's more kids drama and kids having problems at school and I just kind of got bored and never finished it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of afraid that's what's going to happen with Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. But again, I don't care that much. So if it's kind of boring to me, I just won't watch it. It's not going to be like a massive disappointment.
Yeah.
The next one that we actually know the date for is Rebuild the Galaxy. This is a Lego Star Wars series.
Yep.
This one I'm moderately excited for. It looks ridiculous, and I could use some Lego hilarity right now. It's like Marvel's What If, but with Lego Star Wars.
Yes. It's funny, I can't keep up with the the Star Wars shows, but I can keep up with the Lego specials. I've watched a lot of the Lego specials, and I love the Lego Star Wars specials. They're ridiculous. I don't know if how many you've seen, but I think the last one was their summer special.
I think I missed that one. I need to catch up.
So like there's short stories about different characters on doing things during the summer. And there's one where Obi-Wan sings. There's one where Weird Al is having a beach party. Just Weird Al's just there
Just Weird Al,
as
not
a
a character
Lego.
voiced by Weird Al, just Weird Al himself.
I mean, I assume so. It looks like they don't. He just walks on. He's like, "Come on, guys, time for a beach party." So I'm assuming it's just Weird Al.
I mean, it's Lego Star Wars. Anything goes.
Yeah. Like, technically, they give you canonical reasons why the beach planet. I'm trying to remember now in Rogue One. It starts with an S. I'm trying to remember now. But they give you a canonical reason, technically, why they have that planet.
Is it
Like why it's
Scarif?
under Empire. Yes.
I was gonna say Jakku, but I think that's the one that Ray lived on.
Yeah, Scarif. Yeah, the tropical Scarif planet. They technically I mean, I don't know how canonical Lego specials are, but they're
Probably
not
not
under
very.
yeah, they're not under the Legends tag that they throw everything that they don't want to be canon under though. So it could be canon. That's all I'm saying. But they kind of give you a canonical reasoning why they have that planet, like why the Empire has specifically chosen that planet. It's ridiculous as all things in Legos are, and it's kind of fun. So I would recommend that one. I'm excited for this. It seems ridiculous. I like all the really silly either fan theories or like references to concept art that they have a lot in it. I think that's just kind of fun.
I'm just excited to see Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, I think that's funny. I think it looks fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
Well, also on Disney Plus, a few days after this, probably my most excited for Marvel thing, Agatha All Along. I am so excited for this. Like, I absolutely loved WandaVision, and Agatha was a big part of why. I think she's hilarious. This show looks ridiculous. I've heard it's supposed to be a musical, but it looks like super dark, but also
Uh-huh.
hilarious. It just looks so bizarre. And the more bizarre something is, the more I think I'll like it. Did you watch WandaVision?
No.
You didn't? Oh my goodness.
No. Honestly, and I know this is like a thing like everyone says, oh, you should watch WandaVision, but I don't know, it just didn't really capture my attention, so I haven't watched it.
I thought it was so creative. Weird, creative, unlike anything else in Marvel. So it was so good. I loved it. I highly recommend it. Maybe that can be your next thing you watch.
Oh gosh. Just I mean it's technically in my pile of television that I'm gonna watch. It just hasn't been incredibly high on my list at the moment, you know?
I mean, it's not super essential viewing, but it is for me.
No, and I understand, and I'm glad that so many people enjoy it. Like I'm not watching it because I think it's bad or anything. I just haven't, and I'm glad that people are finally getting their Agatha series because, from my understanding, it's been a very long time that people have been waiting for it.
Yeah. As soon as it ended, I wanted more of her. The way it ended, you knew that there could never be more WandaVision because it
Yeah,
was such a specific thing to that show. There's no good way to continuing it without erasing everything that happened in the last episode.
yeah,
So it had to end, but like the fact that they decided to continue it, but with Agatha instead, is perfect. And I hope it's just as creative and hilarious as WandaVision was.
yeah. It kind of looks like I'm not gonna lie, but it kind of has like Hocus Pocus energy. The trailer kind of gave me that.
I suppose I could see that. I think it looks better than Hocus Pocus, but
Oh no, it does look better. Yeah, definitely. I'm not saying it. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll watch. Maybe I'll finally get around to watching some stuff.
it's worth it. I think it's great. And Catherine Hahn is just hilarious. She's so good. And also Aubrey Plaza was in this. I did not realize that she was going to be in this until the trailer. I was like,
Uh-huh.
whoa. I love Aubrey Plaza. She's hilarious in Parks and Rec. I love deadpan characters, like sarcastic deadpan characters, and she's that perfectly. And it looks like she has a similar energy in this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her again.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about a couple of movies that we have left coming out this year.
Yeah.
One that I'm a little more excited for than the other. Moana 2, which I was not excited for this one until the most recent trailer from D23. Like, with the backstory of the production of this, with it being a television show that they decided to turn into a movie, it just felt cheap and like a cash grab.
Mm.
And like, as far as I know, very few of the like creative talent behind it is coming back. Like even Lin-Manuel Miranda is not back because it was a TV show. They got a different set of songwriters,
Uh-huh.
and I feel like the people that they got were like newcomers. So I'm hopeful, but I was not super excited. The trailer did a lot to I guess, calm any fear that I had that it was going to be terrible. I don't think it will be bad. I'm just hoping that it will be good.
Yeah,
But the main cast is back, so that does count for something. I just hope they have a good script to work with.
yeah. I'll have to see. I'm meh on this, I'm gonna be honest. But, maybe it'll surprise me. I'll probably watch it, at least for Hey Hey. I like Hey Hey. I think he's funny. I think it's funny. Honestly, though, I think a lot of my love for Hey Hey comes from I find it really funny how much other people like Hey Hey. If that makes any sense. Like he's so popular, yet he's not in the movie like at all. But I just find it kind of funny, and so I love Hey Hey because of that reason. I don't know, it's weird. But I'm curious to see what the movie is going to be like. So, yeah.
Well, from the trailer, it looked like it will be decent.
Yeah.
I just hope it lives up to the original. It it doesn't need to surpass the original because sequels rarely can, but at least make it feel worthy of being a Moana movie. Because the original was so good.
Yeah.
It will feel very disrespectful if it's anything less than good. If we watch it and it feels like, yeah, they just did this to get some money.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not a cheap cash grab like I originally assumed.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
Yeah. Well, then the last Disney movie of the year, not looking forward to it, not planning on seeing it in the theater. Mufasa, The Lion King.
Boo.
The only positive thing I can say about it is watching the trailer. It was like, well, at least they heard the criticism about the dead-eyed, lifeless-faced animals and tried to fix that. I don't know how successful they were, but they tried. So that's something at least.
Uh,
The trailer looks so bizarre. Like, what is the story that they're telling?
I don't know. I'm just I watched the trailer and I feel nothing.
Pretty much.
I should have been about Rafiki. I would have I mean like I feel like a Rafiki movie would be better.
I probably would actually be excited for a Rafiki movie. Even a weird, realistic but dead-eyed animal Rafiki.
Yeah. Like what made Rafiki the way he is?
Yeah, I mean that sounds better than whatever this is.
Yeah. Like who cares? Does anyone care much about Mufasa past that he died? Let's be honest. We only care about Mufasa because he died and Simba was sad. I'm just saying. Nobody wants to watch a Mufasa movie. The only thing we liked about Mufasa, other than we felt sad that he died, is that he was voiced by James Earl Jones. And he's
Mhm.
not going to be in this because he's a child, so.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I've had it in my head that James Earl Jones is coming back, but no, he's a kid, so he can't be.
Yeah. He can't be. I mean, that would have been funny if he was.
Actually, yeah, it would be.
That would have been better. Just a tiny child be like, Scar, I am a child. Yeah, no, because we can't have nice things, is what I'm saying. I'll give the Mufasa movie one thing that the actor who's playing Mufasa is very cute.
I did like the kids' voices, but that's not enough to get me to go see the movie.
Yeah, like the actors are all fine in their respective roles. I didn't feel like any of the characters annoyed me, like their voices weren't annoying. So, but yeah, no, I'm not watching that movie unless I have to, which I probably will have to.
I will watch it eventually because I'll have to do it for my podcast, but
Yeah,
I probably won't watch it until then, unless somebody is like, if my cousin really wants to go see it, but they really wanted to go see Despicable Me 4, and we never made time for that, so I can't see us making time for Mufasa.
yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to something better. There are a couple of Disney Plus series coming towards the end of the year that I am very much looking forward to.
Yeah, let's talk about good things.
Yes. Let's talk about Win or Lose first. This is Pixar's first non-movie project. like non-movie, non-short. This is a TV show. They announced this
Uh-huh.
a long time ago, and I didn't really know what to expect. But then when the trailer came out, I was like, yes, a million times yes. I want this. I want more of this.
Yes.
This looks so good. And I'm not a sports person, but if you can make a sports show and get me interested, you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Because this looks really fun.
Yeah, no, it looks interesting. The trailer didn't show a lot.
It showed enough to tease you.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I like that they're doing a little bit different sort of a character design too. Because like I know Pixar gets a lot of flack for all their characters looking like they're the same. Like I don't think that they do, but this looks very different.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of not quite a 2D show, but like a similar thing you might see on Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
but with a Pixar upgrade.
Yeah.
It just looks a lot of fun.
It does look fun. I agree.
Well, the thing that I'm looking forward to most of all the things the rest of the year is Skeleton
Yep.
Crew.
Yeah.
I was nervous when I heard about this, but then when I saw this trailer, I was immediately on board. I want this now. This looks amazing.
Yes. No, yeah, I'm really excited for this too. This is one of my top things that I'm excited for. I want it to come out. I can't wait for December.
Yes. Oh, it looks so good. I love the idea of like a sci-fi suburbia.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't seen this kind of a thing in Star Wars before, but it makes sense because there's like millions, if not billions, of planets in the Star Wars galaxy. Why can't one look like 1980s suburbia?
Yeah. Exactly.
It looks so much fun. I love the idea of doing an adventure with kids, but not a kids show.
Uh-huh.
That's sort of like Stranger Things, but hopefully not as intense as Stranger Things. Because I like Stranger Things, but it's a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the whole idea of like going on an adventure and getting lost, and then you have all these creatures, and one of the kids is a creature, the little elephant kid.
Yeah.
I love that. And all the creatures, I don't know if it's a cantina scene or what, but there's like an owl guy, and apparently there's going to be creatures from a Disney short that was at Disneyland called Captain EO. At least one, like there's a little teddy bear cat butterfly thing. I don't know what it is,
Uh-huh.
but everybody keeps making a big deal out of that. I need to see Captain EO because I've talked about doing that on the podcast for a long time. I think we're going to actually try and do it. But
Hmm.
just the fact that they're pulling creatures from a source like that and making them into Star Wars creatures, I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. I like having more creatures. Like a thing I've said about Star Wars is I love Star Wars to bits, but most of the main cast are usually humans.
Hmm.
And so it's fun to see more aliens and stuff
Yes.
because I always loved seeing the aliens. They're super creative and fun.
Yes. That if I had to nitpick Andor, that's one of my only nitpicks is that there's not enough aliens. There's too many humans.
Too many humans, not enough aliens. Get these humans out of my movie.
But it looks like Skeleton Crew will make up for that.
Yeah,
Having an alien elephant child in the main cast, I love that.
yeah, it looks a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I also really like the broken down droid. You don't see him very much, but I love him.
I saw that his name is going to be SM33, looking like the word Smee. And I'm like, is
Whoa!
this supposed to be like a Peter Pan type thing?
I love that. That's adorable. Smee. Oh, I love him.
And then you also have Jude Law as potentially a Jedi. At least the kids think he's a Jedi. But after I saw that the droid's name was Smee, I was like, does that mean Jude Law is like Captain Hook and is he really a Jedi?
Yeah, he might be like a force user or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I don't know, I'm curious. It like I think my takeaway, and this isn't really anything against, like it was fun seeing a trailer for a Star Wars thing that I actually understood that there was plot.
Hmm.
Because when they were marketing the Acolyte, I
Hmm.
had no idea what I was watching.
The only reason that I did is because I follow Star Wars news. There's a couple channels that I follow on YouTube, so I knew like updates of what was going to happen on the show.
Yeah,
So I knew from that, but I don't think they marketed it very well, and I also don't think it was edited well enough because
yeah,
it should have been a movie. It really just should have been a movie. Like the episodes were so short, like a half hour each,
uh-huh,
and some of it was a bit superfluous. Like I liked the show as a whole, but I
yeah,
think I will like it much better going back to rewatch it beginning to end and not having to wait a week in between each episode.
yeah,
And for me to say that because I am one of those people lately who is like I like a staggered release. Give me one episode a week and spread it out. But the way that they edited the episodes, it wasn't like an exciting cliffhanger. It was like a frustrating cliffhanger
yeah,
because you would build to something and then it would just end with no payoff for what you were building up to.
yeah,
It was annoyingly edited. I think I will like it much better on a second viewing because, like, I liked the story they were telling, but it should have been a movie. It really just should have been a movie.
yeah. But I'm glad that Skeleton Crew has already caught my interest.
Yes.
And so that's exciting.
Yeah, I liked the bits I was hearing about it, but I wasn't like thrilled for it. But as
Yeah,
soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, this a million times
yep,
this. I want this now.
yes, yep, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it looks so good. Well, we're coming up to our last few things. We'll talk about some things for next year that we actually have trailers for. We'll go from order of least excited to most excited.
Okay.
March of next year, Snow White. Meh. The trailer looks better than I feared it was going to, but I'm still not like it's like stop calling these live action remakes. This is an animated movie that you've just put live action people into.
Yeah,
None of those animals exist. Even the dwarves don't exist. They're CGI creatures.
yeah. So I remember I said that, I don't remember which one I said it about, but that it didn't actively make me mad like some of the other ones did. This one makes me mad. And mainly just because why are the dwarves CG?
I don't
Like
know.
like I don't want to get too much into this, but like why? Like I've noticed a lot in recent films, like with Wonka and with the Dungeons and Dragons movies. They've both had very small characters, unhumanly small. Like they were like very tiny, but they used like big named actors and then they just like shrink them down. And I
Mhm.
understand that like no one's actually like 3 inches tall or whatever, however tall the Oompa Loompas are in Wonka or whatever. But it just feels too much of a coincidence and intentional that we're not casting little people. And I'm not, and like, because you can shrink down a little person to being three
Mhm.
feet as well,
They did for
instead of
Charlie
like,
and the Chocolate Factory. It was a million cute
yeah,
droids working in the factory.
yeah, like you can do things that has been done before, and like I argue that we shouldn't only cast little people as dwarves. That's ridiculous. Like fantasy dwarves, that's silly. I think they should also get like everyday roles, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Yeah.
But like if you're going to make a movie that has 7 small people, why are we CGI creepy face things and not actual people? It just feels intentionally like they just don't want to cast talented people into a movie and they'd rather just CGI than actually cast
Hmm.
real life human beings, and it just makes me mad. So
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna be honest, it will be, even if like talking about this on a podcast, it's gonna be hard pressed for me to watch this movie because I would rather watch Avatar than watch this movie.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, I will probably see this one, but it's going to be another one that I'm probably going to wait till I do the podcast on it. It's not going to be one that I go to the theater for. It's not going to be one I'm going to sit down and watch on Disney Plus. It's going to be like, okay, I have to watch it for the podcast now.
It's gonna be another live action Pinocchio. We all know
Oh,
it.
I hope not. I hope Pinocchio is the worst that they get. I'm probably tempting fate by saying that, but I they can't get worse than Pinocchio.
You think they can't get worse than Pinocchio? Oh gosh. But yeah, that's my 10 cents about this movie. I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, we can move on to something hopefully better. I am actually looking forward to the live action remake of Lilo and Stitch, but it's only because of who's making it. Dean Fleischer Camp, who was the person who made Marcel the Shell with Shoes On,
Mm.
is the director of Lilo and Stitch. And until I heard that, I was not interested in this. But as soon as they announced that he was directing this, I was like, okay, you have my attention. Because Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is one of the best movies that I've seen in years. It is one of my top favorite movies ever. And I know it wasn't one of your top favorites whenever it was that we ranked the animated movies. But
I mean, I really, really, really loved it. I think there were just other movies that I was like, they make me slightly happier just because Marshall was a little sad.
yeah, I know
And that's the only reason why it went down.
the sadness was a sticking point for you, so it couldn't have been as high as me. But it's one of those movies where like I don't like sad movies either, but this one was just it mixed the sad with the happy in such a perfect human way. Like it's a shell, but it's
Uh-huh.
so human. It was just so
Yeah.
good. And I'm hoping that the fact that he is working on this movie means that this is going to be better than your average live action remake. Like, I know that Disney could still get in the way and say you have to do all of these things that are brand friendly and don't make it too sad. And maybe Disney could ruin it. But if they get out of his way and let him make a movie, I think it could be good. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I understand. But also, Stitch looks like he looks like a distant cousin to the original Sonic the Hedgehog design. And that he had been poached and stuffed. So I don't like the design. Everyone's just like, oh, it doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He looks so dead. I don't like it. His fur looks bad. And also Lilo and Stitch is like one of my favorite movies. So I think that's also like
Yeah.
tainting my thought process because like that's one of my top favorite movies ever.
Hmm.
The original Lilo and Stitch. That movie is beyond perfect.
I need to like actually do a Disney ranking, but I'm sure it's going to be high on mine as well.
Yeah,
It is an extremely good movie, which is one of the reasons why I was not looking forward to a remake
yeah,
until I heard who was going to be directing. So we'll see.
yeah,
I personally think that the Stitch looks a lot better than I was afraid it was going to. Like I was expecting something awful, and I was like kind of shocked that it didn't look horrifyingly gross.
yeah,
But I mean, yeah, it's not perfect, but like it can't replicate the animated version.
yeah,
So I'm fine with it looking a little creepy because he's supposed to be a planet destroying alien anyway, so that doesn't bother me. Now, whether they stick the landing remains to be seen, but I'm hopeful for now.
yeah. Eh, big thumbs down.
Well, let's finish it off by talking about one that hopefully we're both very excited for because I am very excited for Elio.
Yes, I am. I'm glad that we're ending on a high note.
That's why I arranged them in such a way that I hoped we would be ending on one of the high notes.
Yes, I. This is in my top three things that I'm excited for.
Yes.
I've been excited for this movie for a very long time.
It was supposed to come out earlier this year. I've been excited for it since they
Yeah,
announced it as coming out in like March of this year.
yeah,
Instead, it's now delayed until June 13th of next year,
yeah,
which I hope doesn't mean there's problems, but I don't know. I'm still hopeful. And the new trailer, like I saw some clips, like somebody filming illegally, probably at D23. What I saw from there looked really good.
yeah.
The only thing I'm worried about is they announced that I like America Ferrera was supposed to be playing his mom, but now they're saying that I think it's Zoe Saldana is playing his mom.
Hmm.
So something happened and they replaced America Ferrera, which I don't like because I love America Ferrera,
Yeah.
but I also really like Zoe Saldana, so I can't get too upset, I guess.
Yeah.
But not knowing any of that, just going off of even just the first trailer, the official one, I'm excited. It looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
Like I already love sci-fi. I already love animated sci-fi. This looks so fun. I love the alien designs. I love the premise. Aliens accidentally taking a little boy thinking he's the leader of Earth. And this little boy now has to speak for Earth.
Yeah, it's fun.
It looks ridiculous and fun and creative and gorgeous. Like the animation looks so good.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is my right now probably my top looking forward to thing of next year.
Yes. It looks very good. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I really need a really good animated sci-fi film. Like, not that like Strange World was okay. Like, it wasn't one of my top favorites. I was hoping for a little bit more. I'm hoping this scratches the itch that I was looking for with Strange World.
Hmm. Yeah, it's got, speaking of Lilo and Stitch, it has kind of that same kind of energy that it could be like. And I'm excited for that. Just that kind of like whimsical, lighthearted space that
Yes.
I loved about Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah. Yeah, lighthearted is something that we need more of.
Yeah.
I feel like there's too many depressing things recently.
Like I love that how animated things are diving into being deeper stories,
Uh-huh.
but also sometimes I do still like my Looney Tunes and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
So, whilst I do not think this will be a Looney Tunes, especially since it's a Pixar movie, it's
Uh-huh.
probably going to be sad at some
There's
point.
probably going to be some sort of a tear-jerking reunion with his family at the end.
Yeah, something goes on, I'm sure, and it's going to be great, is what I'm hoping. But it just kind of has like an innocence about it,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Yeah. And the kid that they cast as Elio sounds really cute.
Yeah, he's so cute. Ellie adorable.
And I'm just excited to see more cool aliens. I love creatures. I've said
Yes.
that a lot, but I love the creatures.
Yes.
And it looks like there's going to be lots of them in this.
Aliens are so good in things, and it looks like there are a lot of creative, little fun alien designs in this film. So,
This feels like one that I need to look and see if they have an art book. I feel like I need to buy an
ooh,
art book for
yeah.
this.
Yes. Agreed.
Sort of off topic, but there's going to be a book coming called the Star Wars Bestiary. I I,
What?
I pre-ordered it. You might want to look it up just in case you would be interested because it looks good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But yeah, that is all that was announced that I know of at D23. I think there was some park stuff, but I haven't ever been to the parks, so I don't know what I should be excited about. So I didn't figure we needed to cover that.
Yeah.
I didn't really plan for this, but do you want to name like your top three things that you're excited for?
Ooh, okay. So if I have to go with top three, because I think I have four things that I was the most excited for.
You can go
But
for it, that's fine.
okay.
Like I said, I didn't plan for this. I didn't have a list ready. I'm trying to think myself. I feel like we should end on a good list.
Yeah. I guess in order, like lowest to highest, if I have to rank that, I'm super excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. Um, I think that's only on the bottom because I've had so much Mandalorian and the Grogu and the Grogu. Oh my gosh, I messed up the Mandalorian and Grogu. I've had so much of them that whilst it'll be nice to have a movie, like I've had a lot of them, so it's not exactly new, if that makes sense.
hmm
And I think going by that logic again, I'm gonna have to put Andor season two, even though I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited for more K2SO. Oh my gosh. I cannot express how happy I am. I love K2SO. I love Star Wars droids. Like, they're making a Star Wars bestiary, and that's super cool. I want a Star Wars droid thing, though. That would be super cool, too.
Maybe they will. I hope so.
Yeah, I love Star Wars droids. Usually the droids are kind of my favorite characters. I love Star Wars Droids, the show. If anyone remembers that. It's so weird, and I love it.
That's one of those things that I feel like I should watch at some point, but I just never have.
Yeah. At least watch, like, I think a good way to just kind of like get the idea is to watch there's like an opening that they made for the show, like for each episode, and it's just very strange and I love it. But then I think the next thing I would say I'm excited for. So number two would be Elio. I'm really excited for Elio. But I think number one will be Skeleton Crew. Because I'm just really excited for Skeleton Crew. So what's your stuff?
Mine will be similar. I think at the bottom will probably be Mandalorian Grogu tied with Andor season 2.
Uh-huh.
But I have to insert Agatha All Along.
Yeah.
At the bottom of my, if I'm doing a top 3, Agatha is my third because
okay.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
I love Catherine Hahn as Agatha. I'm excited to see this new show. I hope it's good.
Yeah, no, I understand. I hope it's good for you too.
And then Elio is number 2. I'm really excited for that. But then at number 1, I'm the most excited for Skeleton Crew. It looks so good. I can't wait.
It looks so good. I'm kind of scared that it might not live up to how good I hope it is.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm kind of a bit worried too, but also it just looks so good that it can't possibly be bad.
Yeah. There's no way they can mess up this, knock on wood.
No, it looks so good. I'm the most excited for Skeleton Crew. Thankfully, we don't have to wait too super long for that. December 3rd is when that one comes out.
Yeah, I'm hoping to catch up on some stuff, so that's one I can like actually stay on top of.
Yeah. Pretty much anytime there's a Star Wars thing that comes out on Disney Plus, I am a week-to-week watcher. I'm not that way with anything else. I'm so far behind in like everything else that I try and watch. But if there's a Star Wars show coming out, I'm there every week on time.
Yeah.
Well, I think that will be all for today. I'm glad we finally got to do another one of these.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be 5 years before we do another one, but there was just so much announced at once, and I was like, I need to talk to somebody about this. We should do another episode.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I liked complaining about Star Wars live action. Not Star Wars. I liked complaining about Disney live action stuff again. I don't do it enough, clearly.
I'm sure there will be plenty of chances in the future for more complaining.
Oh boy. I'm kidding. I do like that there is stuff that is new.
Well, until the next time, do you want to let people know where they can find you if they want more from you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Katie Draws Things, and I draw things sometimes.
Okay. Well, we will see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening to the Disney Movie Marathon. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. My Linktree and all of our links will be in the description below. If you want more of my content, all my podcasts are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this show, check out one of the other podcasts or check out my Patreon for bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening and we'll see you next time.